For many of us, social media has become an integral part of our lives. It's how we stay connected with friends and family, and it's how we keep up to date with the latest news and trends. As a society, we are spending more and more time glued to our screens doing exactly that. Spending ever more of our collective minutes doom scrolling through endless photos of other people's breakfasts with vitamin-packed smoothies and beautifully plated avocado on toast. It may leave us feeling somewhat betrayed by our own meagre bowl of cornflakes. It may lead some to wish that social media had never been invented at all. But in a world where everyone else is on social media, not being on it carries its own costs. We can't live with it, and we can't live without it. Some people are also aware that potential employers sometimes search for job candidates online, and have probably been warned not to post things that might come back to bite them. But most are probably unaware about how increasingly common this practice has become. In fact, in a recent survey, over 90% of recruiters said that they use social media as part of the hiring process, and over half reported that they have found something on social media that led them not to employ a job candidate. What we wanted to find out is how much potential employers react to what they might see on social media, and how they react when they can't find candidates online. And what we found is not good news for those who want to lead social media-free lives. We created a platform where people could view CVs and information presented as if it had been scraped from various social media platforms. In the CVs, we included information about work experience, education, skills, and interests. And in the social media section, we included gender, work experience, endorsements for various skills, most used hashtags or keywords, most active groups or pages, and an automatic screening report. We then employed some participants to rate these job candidates for the suitability for a job as an office manager in the hospitality sector. We created a control candidate who looks pretty good from an employer's perspective, but nothing extraordinary. They're a member of some generic groups and are posting fairly typical things. Then, to work out how employees respond to different types of social media content, we changed the information we gave them in a number of different ways. One thing we're interested in is how employers respond if they find someone lying on their CV. So we have one candidate claiming in the CV that they are working right up until the present day, but in the social media content we reveal that they actually have been out of work for the last 2 years. Another thing we are interested in is how employers respond to people being open about their mental health on social media. So we indicated with groups and hashtags that this candidate was suffering from mental health problems. Thirdly, we set up a candidate who has, what we thought, was a more unappealing social media presence from an employer's point of view, while at the same time keeping it fairly typical. So there was no evidence of abusive behaviour, but instead this is a person who enjoys the weekend, plays video games, and is open about that on their social media. Finally, we included a candidate who could not be found. We found that candidates who had a recent 2-year employment gap, on average, received lower scores by 0.3 points out of 10 compared to our control group candidates, about the equivalent of 1.5 years of on-the-job work experience. But if a candidate failed to disclose this information on the CV while leaving the recruiters to find out by checking their social media, this did not result in any further significant reduction in score. The second thing we found out was that candidates who suffered from mental health problems also lost out. They received scores 0.7 points lower than the control, which is about equivalent to 3.5 years work experience. But surprisingly, the candidates who could not be found at all were judged even more harshly. They had 0.9 points docked from their score, equivalent to 4.5 years of job experience. Rated worst of all were the candidates with the unappealing social media content. For admitting that they enjoyed weekends and video games, they were punished with a 1.9 point reduction, which is about equivalent to 9.5 years of working experience. For more information, see our paper linked below.